The Forsaken Heir. Previous episodes are available on the playlist. You can also visit our website for your favorite stories. A link is provided in the video description. Episode 45. Seeing that Claire went to the bathroom of the bedroom to take a shower, Charlie went to the guest bathroom on the same floor to take a shower. This is good for living in a villa. There are so many bathrooms, so there is no need to line up. Charlie took a bath faster, and when Claire came out of the bathroom, he had already finished the bath and was lying on the bed. Claire saw Charlie, who was wearing a vest and shorts, lying on his back on the bed. She was surprised for a moment before blurting out, "Why you sleep on the bed?" Charlie smiled and said, "Wife, didn't you say it was done earlier? Should I be promoted?" "Some time ago, Mom went to engage in MLM, which delayed my promotion. Now that she is back, you can't stop me from being promoted." "Right." Claire was suddenly embarrassed. She didn't know how to answer Charlie's question. Indeed, she had promised him that she would be promoted to a higher level without having to sleep on the floor. But she and Charlie had never been so close. "I really didn't have the psychological preparation for this." However, the words came back again. During this period of time, Claire's favor with Charlie has been rapidly heating up. Especially today, seeing Charlie hit Zhang Ming, seeing him donating 1 million to the orphanage, seeing Charlie solve the job for a good brother, and let him go to the pinnacle of life. Charlie tonight is like an omnipotent male god in her eyes. Sometimes, she feel very heartwarming. That may be the feeling of love. Thinking of this, her face immediately turned red, and against the dim light of the bedroom, she looked even more charming. Charlie looked at her shame, and his heart was full of love. "This is my beloved wife, like a ray of sunshine in life, warming my heart." Claire looked at Charlie with red eyes, and after a while, she said shyly, "You can upgrade to 1 level, but you can only upgrade to 1 level, that's it." Charlie hurriedly asked, "My wife, what do you mean by this? What does it mean to only be promoted to 1 level?" Claire said, "From today you will sleep on the bed, but this bed is divided into 2, male left and female right. Without my permission, you must not cross the boundary, otherwise you will be downgraded to 1 level." Charlie said with a sad face, "Wife, what does it mean to drop 1 level?" Claire glanced at him for nothing, and said, "You know what it means to be promoted. Don't you know what it means to be lowered?" Charlie asked depressed, "Should I go back to sleep on the floor if I drop 1 level?" "Yes." Claire said triumphantly, "If you do not behave well, you will drop 1 level to sleep on the floor. If you do not perform well, you will drop 1 level to sleep in the guest room. Anyway, our villa has a lot of rooms." "Yes." Charlie was about to cry and said, "Wife, can you tell me what the next level is? When can I go up to the next level?" Claire blushed with a pretty face, and said, "What is the next level will be kept secret for now. As for when we can go up to the next level, you have to wait for notification from the superior." With that said, Claire patted his chest again, and said grinning, "I am your superior, and all interpretation rights belong to me." Charlie was very depressed, and said, "My wife, you must have heard what Aunt Lena said today. Aunt Lena is really looking forward to having a baby soon." We can't live up to Aunt Lena's wish. Don't come here. Claire stomped with embarrassment. Who is going to give birth? Whoever wants to have a baby with you, you will find someone to give birth to. Anyway, I don't have a baby. Charlie said helplessly, there is no child between these two people. We are both normal people, and we are not infertile. It is a joke to always have no children, just in case you think you are not fertile. Don't you want to look down? Claire curled her lips and said, then when someone asks me, I will tell them that you have no fertility. Isn't that all right? Having said that, Claire said again, besides, you know that you have just reached the second level now. Do you know how many levels you have a child? Charlie said immediately, I must be the third level. Claire hummed, you want to be beautiful. After all, Claire picked up her quilt from the floor, threw it on top of him, and said, one person, one quilt, you are not allowed to cross the boundary. Hands, feet, body, hair, nowhere. If you cross the boundary, you will be downgraded. Charlie could only say helplessly, well, I know, I must not cross the boundary, is this not enough? Claire smiled shyly and said, this is pretty much the same. After speaking, she opened her quilt, turned her back to Charlie, and lay on the bed. As soon as Claire got into bed, she wrapped himself tightly, blushing as if she was about to bleed, glanced at Charlie, and quickly turned her head over. At this moment, Charlie wanted to hug her and give her a kiss. However, since the respect for such a long time has come, why should he be anxious and disobey her? In any case, he has been promoted to one level, and being able to lie on the same bed with her is a huge improvement. In the days to come, he will perform well, and will be able to reach another level. Maybe when he gets to the next level, two people can sleep in one bed. Thinking of this, he felt a lot of joy suddenly. Claire dared not look at him, reached out her hand to turn off the light, and said, it's getting late, go to bed. After the light was turned off, the bedroom was dark, and he couldn't see fingers. It was so quiet that he could hear clearly as if a needle fell on the ground. Charlie could clearly hear Claire's breathing, and her breathing was a bit rapid. It seemed that she should be very nervous at this time. If Claire usually falls asleep, her breathing is very even and gentle. So Charlie asked her, wife, are you still up? Claire asked, what's wrong? Charlie was also a little nervous, and hurriedly said, it's nothing, I just want to chat with you. Claire said, what do you want to talk about? Tell me. Charlie smiled, turned his head to look at Claire's outline, and asked, my wife, how is your company running recently? Claire said, it's not bad. Emgrand Group and several other companies have given some orders. I am designing them one by one and looking for people to construct them. Now the overall situation has improved and the company's account has already the payment of several million is only an advance payment. If I finish the current projects, the payment should exceed 10 million. Charlie was surprised and said, wow, my wife, you are amazing. How long has it been since you made 10 million into the account? Claire said, 10 million is just an account, and the actual profit is only about 2 million. This 2 million is not as much as you can earn by showing others a feng shui. With that, Claire hurriedly said to Charlie, by the way, you should never tell Mom about the numbers that I just told you. If Mom knows that the company has millions in the account, she will definitely get wrong ideas." Charlie hurriedly said, "My wife, I listen to you, and I will never say a word to her." After speaking, Charlie asked again, "Wife, you see that I have performed so well, can you raise me to the next level now?" Charlie felt nervous after asking this question. He didn't know what kind of reply Claire would give him. At this moment, he suddenly felt an object hit his face. The next moment, he felt the object, which was the little bear that Claire usually hugged to sleep. At this time, he heard Claire say in ear, "You are so greedy, you usually play mobile games, the more difficult it is to upgrade, how can it be so simple?" Charlie said aggrievedly, "My wife, the upgrade of mobile games is fast now, and you can upgrade to level 80 with a single cut." Claire pretended to be a customer service of a certain treasure, and said, "I'm sorry, dear, this kind of upgrade is not available in our family. I suggest you consider trying other games." Charlie hurriedly said, "No, no, no, I don't want to try other games, I just want to ask if you can give us a quick way to upgrade this game." Claire smiled and said, "I'm sorry, dear, we don't have any shortcuts for the time being." "Okay." Charlie sighed and said, "I will continue to work hard." Claire nodded in satisfaction and said, "In this case, the customer service side is about to get off work now. If you have any questions, please come back tomorrow morning." Seeing her playful, Charlie hurriedly said, "Okay, let's talk about it tomorrow morning." Claire said again, "Then please don't hang up. After a beep, you will comment on my service. 1 is very satisfied, 2 is satisfied, and 3 is not satisfied." Charlie said, 4. Claire said, "I'm sorry, the input was wrong, please re-enter." Charlie said, "Yes, 4 is very unsatisfactory." Claire grunted and said, "Congratulations for activating the hidden random treasure chest in the game. You will get a random gift. To open the treasure chest, press 1, and to give up the treasure chest, press 2. Charlie blurted out, 1. Claire imitated the sound of the lottery turntable and squeaked it around for a while before saying, "Congratulations on getting a random gift and drop 1 level. The gift will take effect immediately." Charlie yelled in shock, "Don't, stop, I don't want this gift." Claire giggled and said, "Dear, hide the random treasure chest. Once opened, it cannot be returned." Charlie said, "I want to appeal. I just pressed the wrong one, I want to press 2. Claire laughed for a while, and then said, "Dear, the system has received your appeal. We will process your appeal within 2 days. The result of the appeal will be sent back to you at that time, but before the feedback result comes out, you still need to accept a random punishment of downgrading 1 level in place." Charlie said, "I am an old customer of game, can you give me a face? This time set me free from punishment." Claire thought for a while, and then said, "Dear, since you are indeed our loyal customer, we decided after discussion and give you a chance to choose again." After that, she cleared her throat and said, "Please press 1 to open the treasure chest, press 2 to give up the treasure chest." Charlie can only say, 2. "I choose 2. Claire said, it's a pity that you missed the random gift in the hidden random treasure chest this time. What else can I help you with? Charlie sighed, nothing, no more, I'm going to continue leveling. Claire said, then please don't hang up. After a beep, you will comment on my service. 1 is very satisfied, 2 is satisfied, and 3 is not satisfied. Charlie wailed, 1. Very satisfied. Claire said with satisfaction, thank you for your comments. That's all for today's connection. See you next time. This night, Charlie slept very unsteadily. Although he has only been promoted by 1 level, this is the first time he has been in bed with Claire since he married Claire. Of course, although the same bed is the same, there is no chance to sleep together. 2 people use their own pillows and sleep on their own quilts. Charlie really didn't dare to cross the middle 38th line, otherwise he would really have to drop 1 level on the spot. Wouldn't it be because he didn't cry without tears? Claire actually didn't fall asleep for a long time, and she felt very nervous in her heart. Although she and Charlie slept in their own blankets and didn't have any skin-to-skin touch, she still felt that her heartbeat was very fast. Well, this is after all the first time she shared a bed with a man since she shared a room with her parents when she was young. It's not strange that she does feel nervous. In this way, the 2 people suffered from insomnia for a long time before going to sleep one after another. Early the next morning, Charlie opened his eyes. Claire beside him was gone. Hearing the sound of the shower coming from the bathroom, Charlie knew that Claire was taking a shower. Claire is a girl who loves cleanliness, and basically takes a bath every morning and evening, and Charlie has already been surprised. He stretched and was about to get up when the phone under his pillow suddenly buzzed. He took out his cell phone and found that it was actually a call from Xiao Fen. After answering the call, Xiao Fen's anxious voice came from over there, "Brother Charlie, there is an accident in the orphanage." Charlie hurriedly asked, "What's going on? What happened to the welfare institution?" "Don't worry about it, go slowly." Xiao Fen choked up and said, 10 children were lost. Suspected they were stolen. What? Charlie was both anxious and angry when he heard that the child in the welfare home would be stolen. He hurriedly asked, "Xiao Fen, tell me specifically, what is going on?" Xiao Fen hurriedly said, "This morning, the aunt in charge of infants and young children in the day shift went to work with the aunt in the night shift, and found that the aunt in the night shift was sleeping unconsciously. All the 10 children in one room were gone. She was given a strong anesthetic." Charlie was furious, and he scolded, "Someone is too bold to do it, even dare to steal the children of the orphanage." Xiao Fen cried and said, "This kind of thing happened before, but we discovered it in time before. Now human traffickers are particularly rampant. Not only do they dare to steal from the orphanage, they also dare to steal from the hospital, and steal from people's homes. They even robbed other people's children on the street." After speaking, Xiao Fen said again, "The main reason is that this business is too profitable for them. Any child can sell for about 100,000. If it is the kind of beautiful child, these rich people cannot give birth. Children who are even willing to pay a high price." Charlie hurriedly asked, "What's the situation now? Did you call the police?" Xiao Fen hurriedly said, "Aunt Lena and the dean have called the police a long time ago, and the case has been opened for investigation, but the police said that they speculated that the night shift aunt was anesthetized at around 3 in the morning, that is, they stole the child. 4 hours have passed now, and they may have left Oris Hill or even the province in these 4 hours. At this moment, Charlie was very angry. He did not expect that a human trafficker would be so bold and hit idea on the children of the orphanage. Thinking of these children, among them, they might be sold to unscrupulous beggars, or even turned into disabled by them, Charlie wanted to smash the corpses of these traffickers. So he immediately said to Xiaofen, "Xiaofen, where are you now? Are you in the orphanage?" "Yes." Xiaofen said, "I just came back from the police station. Aunt Lena and the others are still there." "Okay." Charlie said immediately, "You are waiting for me in the orphanage, I will pass now." After speaking, he hung up the phone, ignored his wife, and hurried out. Coming to the first floor, Elaine, wearing a big red pajamas, urged impatiently, "Charlie, hurry up and cook, I am starving to death." Charlie frowned, and said in disgust, "If you want to eat, you can cook it yourself." Elaine gritted her teeth and cursed, "Oh! You are amazing now, have you become more capable?" Charlie nodded and said, "If you can get such a big villa, then I can count you as capable." When Elaine heard this, her face suddenly changed. "Charlie, what do you mean by this? Do you think the villa you made is amazing? You started to shake face with me." Charlie said coldly, "Yes, when I lived in your house before, what was your attitude towards me? I hope you will reflect on it now. Maybe after a while, I will treat you like you treated me." Elaine's arrogance disappeared by 80% at once, and she really realized that Charlie was different from before. Now he doesn't have much to judge her. She used to say that he eats in her home and lives in her home, but now it seems that everything is the other way around. At this time, Jacob also came out of the elevator, and when he saw Charlie as if he was going out, he asked, "Charlie, where are you going?" Charlie said, "I'm going to the orphanage, something is wrong." Jacob hurriedly said, "It just so happens that I have to go to the Calligraphy and Painting Association to do something, I'll drive you." Charlie nodded, "Okay Dad." Elaine said angrily, "Jacob, you are not allowed to go. Make breakfast for me." Jacob glanced at her disgustedly, "Make it yourself, don't eat it if you don't do it." After speaking, he didn't talk to her anymore. Jacob and son-in-law walked out, Elaine gritted her teeth with anger behind. Now the two men in the family ignore her, and her majesty in this family no longer exists. Especially that Jacob, who was so ambitious yesterday that he wanted to divorce her. This dog has been married to her for more than 20 years, and he didn't dare to yell at her like that. There must be something strange about this matter, so she has to find a way to investigate it. At this moment, Charlie and the old master Jacob came to the garage. Jacob sat in his BMW car and drove Charlie out. As soon as the car left the house, Jacob couldn't wait to ask, "Charlie, you usually have a lot of ideas. Can you give your dad an idea? How can I divorce that piece?" Charlie said, "Didn't Mom say it yesterday? If you want to get a divorce, you have to live apart for at least 2 years." Jacob said impatiently, 2 years are too long. That Peach still doesn't know that your aunt is back, but this matter must not be hidden for too long. My thought is that before she knows that your aunt is back, I want to divorce her first." Speaking of this, Jacob was a little depressed and said, "But, you heard what the shrew said yesterday. She said that if I find another woman, she will not let me get better. I'm afraid she will know you, aunt. She's going to trouble your aunt. Your aunt is quiet and dignified, and has a good temper. How could she be the opponent of that shrew?" Charlie said, "Dad, I really want to help you with this matter, but I am also helpless. You still have to solve this problem yourself for some things." In fact, Charlie really wanted to let Elaine evaporate directly from the world. He had this idea the last time this woman stole his bank card. It's a pity that he couldn't bear Claire being sad, otherwise, he would never let Elaine back. If he didn't let Elaine come back, then the old master's current life will be extremely enjoyable. Thinking of this, Charlie said again, "Dad, it's not that I told you. Your biggest problem is that you are too weak and too scared of her. She only has to say a few words, and you don't know what to do. People can't help you solve this problem. If you want to solve this problem, you can only rely on yourself." Jacob sighed and said, "I understand what you said, but some things will form a psychological shadow, and it is difficult for me to overcome in your heart." Charlie said, "Then I can't help, Dad. Aunt finally came back. If you let her know, she will probably fight Aunt to get rid of her. She will never give up unless Aunt is driven out of Oris Hill. At that time, you have to think about what to do." When Jacob heard this, he snorted in his heart. What he fears most is the occurrence of this scene. If Elaine really knew that Miking is back, she would definitely go to trouble Miking, and she would never die. Jacob had to sigh, think about it. Try to think of a solution. Jacob sent Charlie to the orphanage, and he went to the Calligraphy and Painting Association to hold an appreciation meeting with others. When Charlie got out of the car, he saw Xiao Fen just waiting at the door. The little girl ran to him when she saw that he was coming. "Brother Charlie!" Xiao Fen cried out with a choked voice, then plunged into Charlie's arms, crying and said, "Brother Charlie, think of a solution quickly. I'm really afraid that those younger brothers and sisters will never again can be found." Charlie patted her back lightly and said seriously, "Don't worry, I will definitely go all out." "Is Aunt Lena back now? Are there any new clues?" Xiao Fen shook her head with red eyes and said, "Aunt Lena and the others haven't come back. I don't know if there is any progress." As she was talking, a taxi stopped at the entrance of the orphanage. Aunt Lena and the director of the orphanage walked out of the taxi. Charlie hurriedly pulled Xiao Fen to greet them, and asked, "Aunt Lena, what did the police say? Is there any clue?" Seeing Charlie's arrival, Aunt Lena smiled bitterly, and said, "The police station has opened a case. They are starting from the monitor, but the only clue that can be found now is that they are driving a white Avec and committing a crime. There should be 6 or 7 of the elements. After they fainted the children, they all got in the car and were out of the city." Charlie asked hurriedly, "Has the police station started tracking this car?" "Chased." Aunt Lena sighed, and said, "Their car had a license plate, and it disappeared on the high speed. It is seriously suspected that they have changed other brands on the high speed. The kind of Ivco itself is our Oris Hill. The models are very common, and there is no license plate number, so it is difficult to find them. Charlie nodded solemnly. Under this circumstance, it may be difficult to achieve results in a short period of time by relying on the police department's method of handling cases. If you want to find criminals in the shortest time, or find information related to criminals, you must find the kind of people who have the underground world information and have great abilities. They have a large number of eyes in all walks of life, so their intelligence is more in-depth than the police. Thinking of this, Charlie called Mr. Orville. After all, Mr. Orville is the underground emperor of Oris Hill, and his eye is much more than ordinary people. As soon as the call was connected, Orville asked respectfully, "Mr. Wade, what do you want?" Charlie said, "There are 10 2- or 3-year-old children in the Oris Hill Welfare Institute. They were stolen by traffickers last night. You have been underground in Oris Hill for a long time. Please help me to investigate if anyone has recently made noise about buying children. Or is anyone inquiring about the child everywhere? Many cases can be solved, not necessarily because of the supernatural powers of the investigators, or what kind of high-tech assistance they have, but because the criminals left key clues in his unique group. For example, if a person is killed, the police will start by confirming the identity of the corpse. But people in the arena know who the person has offended and what kind of things he has been involved in. The probability is that who killed can be found. For another example, if someone loses a car in the local area, if they report to the police usually investigate where the car has been. Where did it disappear? Surveillance video shows who has been in contact with this car during this time. But if you directly ask the people in the underground world, who are the local people who steal the car, or who are the local people who are responsible for selling stolen goods, whoever has seen the car lost is basically accurate. But the key is that the underground world has very clear rules and rules. Even if an insider wants to get certain information, his ability and status must match this information. Otherwise, it is impossible to inquire about anything. For example, a small gangster wants to know what kind of business Mr. Orville is doing recently, who he has eaten with, and who he has met. It is basically impossible to inquire. But if Mr. Orville wants to know what a gangster is up to lately and who he has frequent contact with, his men will help him find out with just one sentence. Mr. Orville knew that Charlie had always lived in the orphanage from childhood to adolescence, so he also knew that the children of the orphanage were stolen. Charlie must be very angry. So he immediately proceeded to investigate. 10 minutes later, a clue was fed back to Mr. Orville. There is a kid named Lu Xiaochen in Oris Hill. Some time ago, while having a meal with friends on the road, he asked where Oris Hill could buy children. Charlie hurriedly asked him, "What is the origin of this Lu Xiaochen?" Mr. Orville said, "This kid is a native of Oris Hill. He has been stealing chickens and dogs since he was young, and his family is also making a living. When he was not an adult, he participated in many illegal and criminal activities for money. This kid does everything. A few years ago, this kid and his family made some money by pirating movies. They sneaked into the movie theater with a video camera to secretly take pictures of other movies being shown, and then carved them into pirated CDs and sold them out. During that period of time, it was very busy. As a result, a big man invested in a big produced movie, which was stolen by this kid as soon as it was released. Then the big man asked someone to chop off the kid's hand. From then on, the kid didn't dare to pirate the movie. The family changed their careers and became a snakehead, just reselling the population. His family specializes in reselling underage children, usually to gangs in the south. Sometimes they also rent out a group of underage children to gangs. Some time ago, I heard that the police targeted those underage gangs controlled by the beggars. Adult children have carried out a special rescue operation and rescued a large number of children, so now the beggars have been asking for children everywhere, and he is specifically looking for children for the beggars. Charlie asked coldly, "This kid and his family are doing this business?" "Yes," Mr. Orville said, "a family of 6, his father, his mother, his 2 brothers and 1 sister, all do this kind of business." Charlie gritted his teeth and said, "This kind of garbage is really..." After that, he asked again, "Mr. Orville, do you know where this kid is now? I want to know all his movements in the past 2 days." Mr. Orville said, "I'm making inquiries, and there must be clues soon." Charlie snorted and said, "If you have any clues, you must tell me at earliest." Mr. Orville respectfully said, "Okay, Mr. Wade, I see." Charlie hung up the phone, turned back to Aunt Lena and Ziofen, and said, "Aunt Lena and Ziofen, don't worry about it. I have asked friends to help me find out and they are quite energetic. I see some clues will come back soon." Aunt Lena said with a red eye, "Charlie, thank you very much." Charlie hurriedly said, "Aunt Lena, what are you talking about? I also came out of the orphanage. Now that the younger siblings in the orphanage are lost, I will definitely try my best to find them back." Ziofen choked up and said, "Brother Charlie, you donated so much money yesterday." On the way back, Aunt Lena also said that we are going to add a set of monitoring equipment to the entire orphanage. I didn't expect it to be today. Having said that, Ziofen couldn't help it all at once, and started crying again. Charlie knows Aunt Lena and Ziofen very well. Most of the people working in the orphanage are very kind, and they take care of these children without parents as their own children, and regard themselves as the parents of these orphans. Now the welfare home has lost 10 children at once, which is naturally a huge blow to them. Charlie was about to speak to comfort them, when Mr. Orville called. He hurriedly connected. He heard Mr. Orville say on the other end of the phone, "Mr. Wade, I have already asked someone to find out. The Lu Zhaochen temporarily found a friend on the road last night and borrowed a deck of Ivco. Come out, there will be no fall in the early morning." Borrowed an Ivco. Charlie raised his eyebrows, and said coldly, "The kid who stole the kid also drove an Ivco. I guess this guy and his family did it." Mr. Orville immediately said, "Mr. Wade, or provide this kid's phone number to the police now and let the police locate and arrest people based on phone number." Charlie said coldly, "No. This kind of scam who specializes in poisoning children is too cheap for them to go to jail. I want them to die." Mr. Orville suddenly shuddered and blurted out, "Mr. Wade, if there is any need, I will die." Charlie asked, "Can you locate that kid based on his phone number?" Mr. Orville said, "No problem, I have someone on China Unicom, and can investigate his real-time location information." Charlie said, "Okay. Now you help me figure out the position." Mr. Orville said immediately, "Mr. Wade, give me 5 minutes." "It is good." Charlie hung up the phone, immediately called Isaac again, and asked, "How many helicopters can Oris Hill currently mobilize? How many people can each carried?" Isaac said, "Mr. Wade, Shangri-La has 2 heavy helicopters, each of which can take 12 people. There is a general aviation company invested by Wade's at the airport, and there are 3 medium-sized helicopters, each of which can take 8 people." Charlie snorted and said, "Get all the helicopters ready and bring your best manpower. Besides, you can let one of the helicopters pick me up near the Oris Hill Welfare Institute now." Isaac hurriedly asked, "Mr. Wade, what are you going to do?" Charlie said coldly, "I want to walk for the sky." When Isaac heard Charlie's tone, he knew Charlie must be angry. So, he almost didn't even think about it, and immediately said, "Mr. Wade, I will arrange it now." After that, he hurriedly asked, "By the way, Mr. Wade, I will take a helicopter to pick you up right now. Should I come directly to the Oris Hill Welfare Institute?" Charlie didn't want people to know how much energy he had, so he asked, "Is there any place suitable for helicopter landing near the orphanage?" Isaac thought for a while and said, "There seems to be a building nearby called JH Building. There is a helipad on the top of the building. Or you can go there now, I will also set off now, and will be there soon." "Okay," Charlie said immediately, "then you come faster." "I understand, master." After hanging up the phone, Charlie said to Aunt Lena and the others, "Aunt Lena, Ziofen, I have a friend who may help me find some clues. I will go and find him now. Please wait patiently for my news, don't worry." Ziofen hurriedly said, "Brother Charlie, I want to come with you, okay?" Charlie said, "Ziofen, you can stay here with Aunt Lena, just leave this to me." Only then did Ziofen nod his head, and said obediently, "Good brother Charlie, and Aunt Lena are here waiting for your good news, you must get your brothers and sisters back." Charlie resolutely said, "Don't worry, I will bring them back safely." After all, he immediately left the orphanage and went to the nearby JH building. At the same time, the police issued a detective report to the whole society through various media. Suddenly, the fact that 10 babies in the welfare home were stolen by human traffickers was quickly spread to the internet and the entire internet. On many news platforms, this information has been topped the top search list. It was also pushed on the screen, letting people across the country see this news. In the past, a news about kidnapping on the street would be paid attention to by people all over the country, and even hit various headlines. And now there are some traffickers who are bold enough to steal children from the orphanage. And one steal is 10. This is simply unheard of astupidal behavior. Let everyone smell it with extreme indignation. For a time, countless netizens across the country were filled with outrage, scolding, commenting, and forwarding on the internet, and the search volume has been high. You must know that in recent years, human traffickers have become too rampant. I don't know how many families have broken their homes because their children were stolen or abducted by human traffickers. In any family, children are the treasures in the hearts of parents. If this baby is stolen, abducted, and bought, the parents will even lose the hope and motivation to live. Countless happy families have been completely destroyed because of this gang of human abductors. The most hateful thing is that after these traffickers abduct the children, it would be better to sell them to normal families who want children. At least the children's lives will not be too threatened. But if these God-sent beasts deliberately disabled the child and used them to beg for money, wouldn't the child's life be completely ruined? Therefore, at this moment, the hearts of the people across the country are closely concerned about these 10 children who were trafficked. At this time, Charlie just wanted to save the children as soon as possible. When he reached the top floor of the building, a helicopter had roared from the sky far away. At this time, Mr. Orville also sent an address to his WeChat, telling him, "Mr. Wade, that Lu Zhaochen is now out of the province, but their cars are afraid to go high speeds, they are all down the road, so now drove less than 400 kilometers." Charlie checked the address and found that the other party was heading south with the child from the orphanage, and was now in the province, next door. At this time, the helicopter slowly descended from the top of JH building, but before it touched the ground, Isaac had already opened the door. Charlie jumped up and said directly to him, "Let the pilot take off immediately and go to address at full speed. Let the other helicopters head in the same direction." "Okay, young master." Isaac immediately informed the pilot of the specific location through the earmuff intercom. Afterwards, Isaac asked Charlie, "Mr. Wade, please forgive me. You are suddenly so anxious. What's the matter?" Charlie said with a black face, "This morning, a family of 6 traffickers stole 10 children from the orphanage." Isaac suddenly exclaimed, "What kind of fraudulence are this family, and they also do such sorrowful things?" Charlie said coldly, "Among the 4 words knock and abduction, what I hate the most is abduction. When I was a child, I grew up in an orphanage and I saw many children who were rescued after being abducted. There are too many children, and every child has sold several hands. Even if the police rescued many children, it would be difficult for them to find their families, so they became orphans who were not actually meant to be orphans." Isaac said immediately, "Mr. Wade, don't worry, I brought my best men and horses this time. Everyone is a good soldier and strong general. After catching them, they will surely crush these fraudulents." Charlie said, "Not only do I want to smash them into pieces, but I also want to smash them all up and down, their accomplices, and colleagues." After all, Charlie asked, "Does the Wade family have power in Zhejiang province?" Isaac nodded and said, "The family's influence in Zhejiang province is also very strong, but the family has always been relatively low-key. Just like I was in Oris Hill, I generally do not participate in the management of disputes between local rich families and gangs. If the locals do not follow the rules, then I can move them anytime, anywhere." Charlie suddenly remembered something and asked, "The Wu family's base camp is in Suzhou. Suzhou are the capital of Zhejiang province. They must be the local snakes of Zhejiang province, right?" "Yes." Isaac said, "The Wu family is the largest family in the south of the Yangtze River. They have cultivated Jiangsu and Hangzhou for many years, so their strength in Zhejiang province is really extraordinary." After finishing speaking, Isaac added, "However, this is extraordinary for ordinary people. To the Wade family, they are just little friends." Charlie nodded, his face gloomy. Isaac thought of the Wu family, and said, "Mr. Wade, the Wu family was looking for your enemy some time ago. You must pay attention to this matter. Since you don't need your family to help you, then do you need me to send you some bodyguards to protect your safety at all times?" Charlie waved his hand slightly. His heart was full of disdain for the Wu family. Isaac still didn't know his strength. Judging from his current strength, no one could hurt him at all. At this moment, on the Ivco deck, the 7 adults in the car did not even know that a net of heaven and earth had already covered them. In addition to these 7 adults, there are 10 sleeping children in the car. These children have been given sleeping pills in the early morning and have not yet woken up. In the co-pilot, there was a young man without a right hand. This young man was Lu Zhaochen. At this time, Lu Zhaochen looked excited and said to his elder brother who was driving, "Brother, if this transaction is completed, it will be $1 million in money." His brother asked in surprise, "Are children so expensive now? Didn't you say that they only cost tens of thousands?" Lu Zhaochen said, "Isn't there a wave of blows some time ago? The beggars of Zhejiang province are now in shortage of children, so the price has risen." His brother smiled and said, "Then let's post this time." Lu Zhaochen nodded and said cheerfully, "When this transaction is completed, our family will find a place for vacation." Inside Ivco's spacious carriage, Lu Zhaoken's mother said with a smile, "Oh, this wave of money is over. I really want to go abroad for a while." The daughter-in-law next door went to Thailand some time ago. "When I go there, I want to swipe my friends' circle all day long, and after I come back, I still have a lot of fun. This time when we get the money, let's go." Lu Zhaochen laughed and said, "What's so fun about Thailand? Thailand is where the poor go. It costs 2,000 or 3,000 to play with a tour group. If we want to go, we will go to a high-end place." "High-end place?" Lu Zhaoken's mother asked excitedly, "Good son, you can tell me something is more advanced? Mom has never seen anything in the world, so I can't think of it for a while." Lu Zhaochen blurted out, "Of course I went to the Maldives. That's a good place for the really rich to go on vacation." Lu Zhaoken's sister applauded happily, "Maldives? Great, I've long wanted to go to Maldives. I've been thinking about it for a long time." "Then," she said again, "I'm going to the Maldives to live in that kind of water villa, luxurious to death. It must be so cool to live." Lu Zhaochen smiled and said, "Sister, when we get the money, we'll buy a plane ticket immediately." A family of 6 began to look forward to the upcoming trip to the Maldives in their hearts. Lu Zhaochen turned around and looked at the man sitting in the back rows. This man was also the 7th adult in the car besides Lu Zhaoken's family of 6. Lu Zhaochen looked at the 7th person and said with a smile, "Hey, Zhang Ming, you can divide 400,000 this time with the money. Have you thought about what to do after you get the money?" Zhang Ming ignored him because Zhang Ming was very depressed at this time. Last night, after he returned home from Zhao Zhou's company dormitory, a few young and dangerous boys came to his door with knives. The young and dangerous boys knocked on his door, put the knife on his neck, and warned him that he must send the compensation to Ma Zhongliang Phaeton as soon as possible, otherwise, he would be killed directly. Zhang Ming was so frightened. He found a friend who was a second-hand car dealer and evaluated his car and the Phaeton, and found that even if he used all the insurance costs, he still had a funding gap of more than 1 million. And his Mercedes, because it has had an accident, can only sell for about 300,000. Even if he sell the Mercedes himself, there is still a funding gap of more than 900,000. Zhao Zhou solved 620,000 for him, but he still missed 300,000. In desperation, he could only find Lu Zhaochen, a fox friend and dog friend he had known before. Originally, he wanted to borrow 300,000 from him for emergency assistance, but Lu Zhaochen was also short of money during this time. Lu Zhaochen complained to him that the police have been working too hard in cracking down on human trafficking recently, and a family of 6 is almost out of food. Lu Zhaochen also told him that he is now looking for suitable children everywhere to sell to the south. Now the price is high. If found resources, they can make a lot of money. When Zhang Ming thought that there were a lot of infants and young children in the orphanage recently, he immediately got confused. He told Lu Zhaochen of this information and suggested that the two parties cooperate to steal a group of children from the orphanage and sell them. Lu Zhaochen was worried about where to find a child. When he heard that there were many orphanages, his heart was ecstatic, and his thoughts were suddenly moved. Zhang Ming knows well about the orphanage. He knows that the orphanage has many loopholes because of its current condition due to years of disrepair, inadequate funding, insufficient staff, and inability to keep up with security facilities. As long as those familiar with the process can find a breakthrough. So he immediately took the lead and worked out a more detailed plan. As soon as Lu Zhaochen saw the feasibility of this sentence, he immediately brought in the family of 6. Zhang Ming was very dissatisfied with the participation of Lu Zhaoken's family of 6, because he knew that the reason why the other party called so many people was because he wanted to pay more. If he only did this with Lu Zhaochen, the 10 children will sell for more than 1 million by then, and each of the two will be able to divide between 60,000 and 700,000. As a result, Lu Zhaochen brought in another 5 members of the family and immediately diluted his share. This shameless Lu Zhaochen, who was shamelessly trying to divide his head evenly, would be divided into 7 parts, and he would only have 200,000 at most. Zhang Ming fought hard with Lu Zhaochen, and finally decided on a distribution method. Zhang Ming got 400,000, and the rest went to Lu Zhaoken's family. Suddenly losing 300,000 of income, Zhang Ming was naturally very depressed. But he didn't have any good solutions, because if the other party had to leave him alone, he would be finished. In desperation, he could only suffer from this dumb loss. At this time, Lu Zhaochen looked at the map, and then at the time, and said, "We will be in Suzhou soon. After we arrive, we will come to pick up the goods at the next house. We can rush back when we take the money. We should go back before dark." "I can rush back," Lu Zhaoken's sister said excitedly. "Oh, I just want to go to the Maldives as soon as possible." As she said, she took out her mobile phone and said, "I'm going to find videos and guides of Maldives on YouTube to see which island to go to have fun." Immediately, she turned on YouTube. Unexpectedly, the first screen video after opening was the news about the loss of children in the orphanage. This news video has only been released for 2 or 3 hours, and it has more than 5 million likes and more than 300,000 comments. She tightened her heart, and when she opened the comment, she was shocked. Because all the comments in the comments demanded the execution of the trafficker, the killing of the trafficker's family, and so on. She subconsciously said, "Oh, that's bad, this matter has already hit the headlines. It seems that netizens all over the country are paying attention to it. Are we doing something big? What are you afraid of?" Lu Xiaochen said indifferently, "There is no substantial difference between stealing 1 and stealing 10. Besides, I'm careful along the way. No clues are left. No one can find us. It is impossible to doubt us." As he said triumphantly, "You can rest assured. When they can't find us after a while, the attention of netizens will be immediately attracted by other news, and after a while, we will be forgotten." Several helicopters merged in the outskirts of Oris Hill, and they chased outside the province quickly, narrowing the distance with the target little by little. The opponent's Ivco can only stop and go on the national road, and often encounters traffic lights or traffic jams, and the overall speed is simply not up. The reason why Lu Xiaochen chose national roads instead of highways was mainly because the highways were closed roads. In case the police caught them, it would be difficult to fly by himself. But national roads are different. National roads are all open roads and are connected to various township and county roads. It is very difficult for the police to block them. And once there is any problem, you can abandon the car and run away at any time. The countryside, residential houses, and even factory construction sites are all good places to hide. Charlie left enough opportunities for pursuit. The helicopter is in the sky, without stopping, without any detours and congestion, and the flying speed exceeds 200 km per hour. After flying for more than an hour, Charlie's location was only 100 km away from the target. Isaac said to Charlie, "Mr. Wade, their current average speed is only 40 to 50 km an hour, and we are expected to catch up with them in 30 minutes. Charlie nodded and said, "Could you please contact the local forces of the Wade family and ask them to help us seal the road ahead of time, and I will give them a urn to catch turtles." Isaac immediately looked at the real-time location sent by Mr. Orville and said, "There is a bridge across the river on the national highway in front. After they pass, I will seal the bridge to prevent other vehicles from getting on, and then wait for them. When they are about to cross the river, bet the other end too, so that they will not escape." Charlie said with satisfaction, "This is a good idea, just do what you said." Soon, the 2 truck convoys, full of muck, set off from the 2 real estate construction sites on both sides of the river. The construction sites where they are located are all properties owned by a real estate development company under the Wade family. Both teams were also arranged by Isaac. Each fleet consists of more than 20 engineering trucks loaded with muck. Any truck, when fully loaded, weighs 40 to 50 tons. A heavy tank is just this weight. Such a car, just cross the road, no car can hit it. What's more, there are more than 20 vehicles on each end, and even tanks will not be able to rush past. Lu Zhaoken's elder brother drove to the bridge. Lu Xiaochen smiled and said, "After crossing this river crossing bridge, we will almost reach Suzhou." "Okay." Lu Zhaoken's sister said happily, "If we get the money today, we can go to the Maldives tomorrow. I just researched it. The Maldives is a visa on arrival, so we don't need to apply for a visa in advance." We will buy a plane ticket and fly there tomorrow. That's it. While driving, Lu Zhaokin's brother said in surprise, "Why are there so many big cars suddenly?" Everyone looked out the window and saw heavy trucks full of muck on both sides. Lu Zhaochen said casually, "Which construction site should be sent the materials? Regardless of it, let's overtake it quickly." Ivko quickly accelerated and surpassed the engineering fleet. Immediately afterwards, the engineering convoy behind began to run several large vehicles in parallel, directly blocking the road behind, so that other vehicles behind could not pass. When Ivko got on the bridge, the engineering convoy, which was advancing side by side, also drove onto the bridge. However, as soon as the engineering convoy got on the bridge, it immediately stalled and blocked the entrance to the entire bridge, making it impossible for other vehicles to pass. The driver behind was so angry and got out of the car to check what happened. At this time, a person from the engineering team got on and off and shouted to the back with a loudspeaker, "We have just received a notice from the superior that this bridge has become a dangerous bridge, and there is a risk of collapse at any time. Now we need to hurry up and repair it for everyone. Your life is safe, please Dieter, thank you for your cooperation." These drivers originally wanted to scold their mothers, but upon hearing this, they immediately dispelled the idea of scolding, and the unhappiness in their hearts disappeared. With so many construction vehicles parked here, they don't doubt what the other side said. Therefore, they are very fortunate now. Fortunately, they have been following behind the construction vehicles. If they are in front of the convoy, wouldn't they also drive on this dangerous bridge? So everyone turned around and took a detour from other roads. Lu Zhaokin's elder brother drove to the center of the bridge, glanced back through the rear-view mirror for a while, and said puzzledly, "Why are there no cars behind?" Lu Zhaochen glanced back, maybe it was blocked by those big cars, which were running slowly. It's also possible, Lu Zhaokin's brother said, and stopped taking it seriously and continued to drive. When they were about to cross the bridge, a few large cars suddenly poured in from both sides in front, completely blocking the road ahead. Lu Zhaokin's elder brother was taken aback, and hurriedly stepped on the brakes, blurting out, "Are these big cart drivers crazy?" The other people in the car staggered for a while because they had no time to react. After the car stopped steadily, Lu Zhaochen was surprised to find that the road in front of the car had been completely blocked by several large cars, and there was no car behind. In other words, the Ivko was completely sealed on this bridge. However, at this time he did not mean that he was imminent. So he pushed the door down and shouted at the big car parked in front, "Hey! What are you guys doing? Get out of the way quickly!" A burly man jumped down from one of the big cars and said coldly, "This bridge has been closed. From now on, no vehicles or people will pass by." Lu Zhaochen said angrily, "The cars in front have all passed by, but we have not passed. You have to close it and wait until we pass." He didn't know, the reason for closing this bridge was to seal him on the bridge. The burly man yelled, "Don't talk nonsense with me," I said, "no vehicles or people should pass by. If you are not afraid of death, you can give it a try." With that said, more than 30 people wearing hard hats came at once, all of them sturdy and looking fierce. There are only 7 people in Lu Zhaokin's group. His mother and his sister are helpless women, his father is an old master, and he is a disabled person. How could it be 30 in this case? Multiple opponents. So he gritted his teeth and said, "Okay, then we can always turn around and change another way, right?" With that, he got in the car again and said to the brother beside him, "Let's turn around." "Okay." Lu Zhaoqin's brother immediately turned around and drove back directly. But what he didn't expect was that after turning around and driving back, he saw a large group of heavy trucks coming on the opposite side before driving a few steps away. These trucks are next to each other. There was no room for a bicycle to pass through, and the menacingly approached. Lu Zhaoqin's elder brother hurriedly stopped the car and said in surprise, "What is going on? How do you feel that these big cars are deliberately trying to sandwich us? Are we exposed?" "Impossible!" Lu Zhaochen said categorically, "Even if we are exposed, it should be the police who intercept us, not the big truck on the construction site." His brother was very worried and said, "Zhaochen, I think this is obviously strange." Even now, Lu Zhaochen also felt that something was really wrong. Otherwise, how could it be possible that there are so many big cars in the middle of this car for no reason? Moreover, looking at their posture, they simply didn't want to let them escape, so they used a parallel formation. There were traffic jams both front and rear, and the river was rolling under the bridge. If they really came straight to them, they wouldn't even have to escape. Thinking of this, he couldn't help feeling nervous, and said, "Aren't these people coming for these children? Shouldn't they? Aren't they just a bunch of orphans?" "That's right." Lu Zhaoqin's brother couldn't help but said, "Furthermore, the police didn't find it. Why did these people come?" Seeing that the convoys at both ends were getting closer, Lu Zhaoqin's brother could only temporarily stop the car. Everyone in the car panicked, including Zhang Ming. Zhang Ming felt a panic in his heart at this time. No one knows the situation of the orphanage better than him. If these children are lost, at most the police will come forward to find them. It is impossible for the people to have such a powerful force to find them. However, with one exception, he felt very nervous. The exception was Charlie, who hurt him miserably yesterday. In the dark, he felt that this matter seemed inseparable from Charlie. Thinking back to Charlie, he always looked unpredictable. He couldn't help but wonder, are these people sent by Charlie? Just when this Ivko stopped, countless large cars began to pack him tightly, and the 7 adults in the car couldn't help but panic. Lu Zhaochen took out a knife from his arms and said nervously, "If someone is against us, we will fight him." His sister said in horror, "There are only 7 of us, and they have dozens of drivers alone. Fighting is not their opponent." Lu Zhaochen was already obviously flustered, and said nervously, "You close the curtains of the windows at the back. If they want to come in, I will fight with them." In order to be able to transport the children more safely, thick curtains have been hung on the windows of the rear rows. Looking in from the outside, they can't see the situation inside, let alone the unconscious children inside. Several people, including Zhang Ming, hurriedly drew the curtains tightly. Lu Zhaochen said to his 2 elder brothers and Zhang Ming, "Hurry up and get all the knives out. Now the car is definitely not going out, you can only rely on yourself." When he started doing it early this morning, Lu Zhaochen gave each of them a knife. He thought it was just to strengthen the courage, but he didn't expect to use it now. Jiang Ming was very panicked. He is very different from Lu Zhaochen. Lu Zhaochen has been doing the job of licking blood on the tip of a knife all the year round, otherwise he would not be chopped off his right hand. But Jiang Ming is just a liar. Every day at Harley Joe's company, he cheats those old men and old ladies who are eager to manage money and make money. If he really wants to use a knife to fight with others, he simply doesn't have the guts. At this moment, he took the knife out tremblingly, and asked nervously, "Zhao Chen, did you offend someone?" Lu Zhaochen said desperately, "I also want to ask if you have offended people." At this time, Lu Zhaoken's brother said nervously, "Look at these big cars, they only surrounded us, but no one came down to say something, and I didn't understand what they are doing." Lu Zhaochen thought for a while, opened the window of the co-pilot, and shouted to the outside, "Who are you? What are you going to do?" No one responded outside the car. Lu Zhaoken's heart was extremely nervous. With so many cars surrounding him, this group of people didn't even have a word, which made people feel strange and terrifying. At this moment, the sound of a helicopter roaring from outside suddenly came. Because the movement of the helicopter was too loud, and the sound was too recognizable, the entire vehicle became more panicked. Jiang Ming panicked and asked, "What's the matter? How come there are helicopters? Who are these people?" Lu Zhaoken's father drew a gap in the curtain and looked up to the sky, and immediately saw several helicopters lined up. He was so scared that he said, "There are several helicopters in the sky. Even if the police arrest people, they don't know how to use helicopters. Are we offending some big people?" As they were talking, everyone heard the sound of the helicopter, and it was already overhead. Marvin was sitting in one of the helicopters, looking down at the scene on the bridge. The entire bridge has been broken by large vehicles. In the middle of the bridge, a dozen large vehicles surrounded the Ivco. Traffickers and children are in this car. Zhak Chen said to Marvin, "Mr. Ye, many of my people are from special forces. Some of them have a way to kill all these people." Marvin said coldly, "Don't be anxious to kill, keep them alive." "Good." Zhak Chen said, "Then I will let them control these fraudulents first." Marvin nodded and said, "Do it now." Zhak Chen immediately gave an order, and one of the helicopters descended and hovered on top of the Ivco. Immediately after, 4 ropes were thrown on both sides of the helicopter. 4 former special forces in black immediately descended from the ropes. They were very professional. They were hung on the 4 corners of the Ivco car roof. Then they took out the portable cutting machine and started cutting the iron sheet of the car roof at the fastest speed. This white Ivco itself is not a special vehicle. The iron sheet on the roof is very easy to cut. In the blink of an eye, the entire roof was cut off. The people in the car were already shocked. They looked at the roof of the car, which was gradually cut open. There was no good way at all. At this time, the helicopter hovering over their heads began to slowly rise, and the 4 former special forces each used a special suction cup to firmly hold the 4 corners of the roof. With the ascent of the helicopter, this Ivco was uncovered directly. At this time, not only Marvin on the helicopter, but also the situation in the car, even Zhang Ming in the car and Lu Zhaoqin's family saw the magnificent scene of several helicopters hovering in the sky at the same time. Except for the helicopter that cut the roof of their car, on both sides of the remaining helicopters are ex-special forces armed with automatic rifles. They are like the Marines in Operation Red Sea. The target was tightly locked on the 7 people in the car, ensuring that as long as anyone dared to hurt the child, they would immediately kill him. For a top family like the Ye family with a net worth of trillions, their ability to protect themselves is far beyond the recognition of ordinary people. Special forces, automatic rifles, and helicopters are just drizzle. With the influence of the Ye family, even if armored vehicles are called, it is not a big problem. This is the confidence of the real top family. Today, using such a big battle to solve a few human traffickers can be said to be fighting mosquitoes with anti-aircraft guns. But Marvin didn't feel wasted at all, for this kind of scam would have to use the most powerful means to destroy them all at once. At this time, Marvin directly turned on the PA system on the helicopter, and said loudly, "Listen, the people in the car, you are already surrounded, immediately put down all resistance to surrender, otherwise, get kill." The sound of Marvin frightened the 7 people in the Ivco car. Lu Zhaochen collapsed, because he felt that even if he killed and set fire, he wouldn't use such a big battle to catch him, right? At this moment, his family was so scared that they were still thinking that after they got the money, they would go to the Maldives for a holiday, but they didn't expect to be completely covered by such a net. Zhang Ming was even more panicked. He is almost regretting death at this moment. Not only regret, but more panic. But at this time, he suddenly came back to his senses, and felt that the sound of the call on the helicopter just now was so familiar. But he didn't hear it for a while. This voice was Marvin's voice. So he panicked and asked Lu Zhaochen, "What should we do now? This group of people have guns. Now even the roof of the car has been cut off. What if they shoot us?" Lu Zhaoqin's elder sister wailed in fright, "Brother, we won't die here today, right? Your elder sister hasn't lived enough yet, your elder sister is still young, your elder sister hasn't been married yet. What are you yelling about? I'm not married either." Lu Zhaochen was afraid and confused in his heart. Hearing his sister crying and making noise, his heart was even more irritable. Marvin looked down at these 7 people from the helicopter and found that they were not doing anything. He was immediately angry and said coldly, "I will give you 3 seconds to get off the car, otherwise you will have to pay the price." As soon as the voice fell, he immediately started timing. 3. "If curry," Lu Zhaoqin's mother cried bitterly, "Zhaochen, let's get out of the car quickly, otherwise I'm really afraid that these people will attack us." Lu Zhaochen hesitated. If they don't get out of the car, they might be able to kidnap a few children and use children's lives to threaten the other party to let them go. But if they get out of the car, isn't it just being slaughtered? 2. Lu Zhaoqin's sister hurriedly said, "Zhaochen, you have to say something." 1. After Marvin finished counting 3 times, seeing that none of the 7 people moved, he immediately said to Zhak Chen, "Notify the sniper and kill the driver." "Okay, master." Zhak Chen immediately passed the walkie-talkie and gave an order in a cold voice. The sniper immediately looks for a suitable opportunity, kills the driver first, and fights for a shot. The intercom system immediately received a reply from the snipers: the site of sniper number 1 is blocked. The site of sniper number 2 is blocked. Sniper number 3 has an unobstructed sight and has locked on the target. The kill probability is 80. Sniper number 4 is unobstructed and has locked the target. The kill probability is 95. Zhak Chen immediately ordered, "Sniper number 4 listens to my orders and shoots." At this moment, the former special soldier hanging outside the door of a helicopter on the right immediately pulled the trigger. With a bang, the sniper rifle burst out with a tongue of flame, and then the bullet shot out from the muzzle at a rapid speed. The next moment, Lu Zhaochen, who was sitting in the driving seat of Ivko, was so nervous that he did not know what to do. He was suddenly headshot. No one expected that a person who was intact in the last second would burst out a bloody mist on his head in the next second. Lu Zhaoken's family was so scared that they collapsed and screamed. They really did not expect that the caller would immediately instruct to shoot after 3 seconds. The one who died was the eldest son of the Lu family, and Lu Zhaoken's parents loved the eldest son the most. Seeing that eldest son was instantly dead, the two of them went crazy and cried. Lu Zhaochen was sprayed with red and white because he was closest to his brother. He was already scared to death. When he was in this business, he never thought that this business would be terrible. At this time, Marvin said coldly through the PA system, "I will give you 3 more seconds. If you don't get out of the car and surrender, then I will let the sniper randomly kill the second person." As soon as these words came out, all 6 of them lost the courage to resist, and ran out of the car in a hurry. After getting out of the car, the 6 people raised their hands high above their heads, and their faces were filled with the deepest fear. This is the first time they have witnessed such a bloody and direct death with their own eyes. Everyone's heart trembled. Even Lu Zhaoken's mother, sister, and Zhang Ming were so scared to pee their pants. Marvin continued to shout, "All 6 of you kneel down at the back of the car, hold your head in your hands, and if anyone dares to make any other actions, kill him on the spot." How dare these 6 people fail? They hurried to the back of the car and knelt on their heads. At this time, the big car at the rear slowly retreated tens of meters, leaving a huge open area. Afterwards, the helicopter that Marvin was flying in began to slowly land on this open ground. The former special forces on other helicopters moved faster, and they had quickly descended onto the bridge by cable descent. Dozens of former special forces armed with live ammunition had surrounded the 6 groups at this time, and their guns were all aimed at them. Several former special forces have entered the Ivko and quickly checked the health of the 10 children in the car. Afterwards, he reported in the intercom system, "Mr. Yet all 10 children are in a coma, but I checked their physical indicators and vital signs, and there is no danger to their lives, please rest assured." Marvin immediately relaxed. Since the children are all right, the remaining task is how to deal with these human traffickers. He not only wants these human traffickers to pay the price of their lives, but also finds out their downstream buyers and kills them all. At this moment, Marvin's helicopter had slowly stopped on the bridge. Marvin pushed the hatch, and jumped down. The 6 people, including Zhang Ming, were all kneeling on the ground at this time, looking at Marvin coming down from the helicopter in horror. But the distance at this time was still a bit far. Zhang Ming did not recognize Marvin. Marvin didn't see Zhang Ming either. he thought this was Lu Zhaoqin's family. But when he got closer, he saw Zhang Ming with a frightened face among the 6 people. Marvin's heart was suddenly extremely angry. He really didn't expect that Zhang Ming would be involved. No matter how hard this kid pretended, he was one of the orphans who came out of the orphanage. Marvin never expected that it was this Zhang Ming who grew up in the orphanage who would collude with others and steal from the orphanage. 10 children out. Zhang Ming also saw the man coming by at this time. When he recognized that the person walking by was Marvin, his whole person's worldview was instantly subverted. How come? How could it be Marvin? Zhang Ming felt that no one in the world would be too surprised to step down from this helicopter, but Marvin was the only one who stepped down from here, which made him unacceptable anyway. However, the tall and handsome man with a cold face is indeed the orphan who grew up with him in the orphanage, Marvin. He couldn't imagine, what exactly is Marvin? Who can mobilize such a powerful force to pursue yourself? Among other things, just these few helicopters, and these dozens of experts with guns and live ammunition like special forces, are definitely not the strength that ordinary people can have. Even the richest man in Restville cannot be so capable. Deep in his heart, he couldn't help asking himself, what is the origin of Marvin? Isn't he an orphan? Still the son-in-law who eats soft rice? Why can such a powerful force be mobilized by him? At this time, Marvin had already stepped forward to the 6 people. However, instead of looking at the other 5 people, he observed at Zhang Ming with extremely cold eyes and asked coldly, "Zhang Ming, you are so bold." Zhang Ming trembled violently, hurriedly begged, "Marvin. This is a misunderstanding, Marvin." "Misunderstanding?" Marvin said furiously, "You and traffickers abducted 10 orphans from the orphanage, and then tell me this was a misunderstanding." Zhang Ming suddenly burst into tears, and said with tears in his nose, "Marvin, I have no choice but to not lose my bet with you. I accidentally ran into someone else's phaeton. If I don't pay for it, if someone else has a new car, they will kill me, and I am also forced to be helpless." Marvin stepped forward, kicked him on his chest, kicked him all the way, and sternly shouted, "You are an orphan. You know what kind of pain orphans have to go through since childhood. They are raised in a welfare institution. It's nothing more than doing something for the orphanage. If you steal the children from the orphanage for money, you deserve to die." Zhang Ming was in severe pain, but he struggled to get up, crying and said, "Marvin, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been blinded by lard for a while, please take it for the sake of growing up together. Please spare me this time." "Spare you?" Marvin snorted coldly, and said, "You have done such a conscientious thing, how can the confidence let me spare you?" Zhang Ming hurriedly pointed to the Ivko and said, "You can see that those younger brothers and sisters did not suffer any injuries, and they all took sleeping pills. Now take them back. They don't even know what happened. As long as you spare me this time, I will work for the orphanage in my life, and I am willing to use my life to pay for my sins." Marvin said coldly, "Save some energy, Zhang Ming, among the 7 people today, you are the most damned." When Lu Zhaochen heard this, he hurriedly blurted out and wailed, "Eldest brother, you are right. This incident was planned by him. We were all used by him. Please forgive us. Marvin saw his right arm raised high, and his wrist broke all at once, knowing that this person was the notorious Lu Zhaochen. So, he snorted and asked, "You are Lu Zhaochen, right?" When Lu Zhaochen heard this, his whole body trembled. How would he know his name? Marvin saw his face full of horror, and smiled playfully, coldly, "Lu Zhaochen, you guys are okay. I heard that you were doing some sneaking and petting businesses before, and you were still a family of 6. I didn't expect you to be cut off. With one hand, you don't even have a long memory? I heard that you had been reselling children before, but I didn't expect that you dared to steal children directly this time." As soon as Lu Zhaochen heard this, he knew that the other party had checked all of his details. So he squatted his head in panic. Big brother, this is all a misunderstanding, big brother. I have offended people before, so my reputation is corrupted everywhere. I have never done anything to resell a child. It was just spread by others." Marvin smiled and asked him, "Do you think I am like a fool?" Lu Zhaochen kept kowtow, his entire forehead had become bloody, and he begged, "Big brother, you really can't blame me this time. This time it was all Zhang Ming's idea. He told me that he had an accident. There is a shortage of hundreds of thousands, because he told me that there are many children in the orphanage. He even made the whole plan for us to steal the children." Marvin said coldly, "Don't worry, I will figure out the accounts of each of you." After speaking, Marvin questioned, "I ask you, who are you going to sell these children to?" At this time, Lu Zhaochen dared not hide anything, and hurriedly said, "Brother, these children are going to be sold to the Regner gang." Marvin asked again, "Who is your partner?" Lu Zhaochen blurted out, "It's an elder of the beggar gang." Marvin frowned and said, "There are elders in the beggar gang." Lu Zhaochen nodded and hurriedly said, "This gang of beggars was established completely after the gang in martial arts novels, because they all pretended to be beggars and cheated money everywhere, so they directly used the name of the gang, the biggest leader of the gang. Is their gang leader? Under the gang leader there are 2 deputy gang leaders, 9 elders, dozens of hall leaders and tens of thousands of subordinates scattered across the province." Marvin didn't expect this gang of beggars like a social cancer to have such a huge organizational structure. There are tens of thousands of beggars in a province alone. Lu Zhaochen wanted to perform meritorious service in front of Marvin and strive for lenient treatment, so he poured out all the information he knew. "Brother, the 9 elders of the beggar gang are all rich men with a net worth of tens of millions. This group of people has long stopped begging in person. They live in luxury villas, drive luxury cars, and even sit in their offices. The 9 elders perform their duties. Some people are responsible for recruiting new members, who are responsible for management, finances, and training. Some people are responsible for implementing family laws. The elder who joined me is responsible for buying children for begging." Marvin asked again, "Who is the leader of the beggar gang?" Lu Zhaochen said, "The name of the beggar gang's leader is Nanshan. Don't think he is just a beggar gang's gang leader, but his net worth is at least 1 billion. His business covers various grey industries, and he has already become Suzhou, a big man in the underground world." After that, he said again, "By the way, Nanshan has a big background, and his sister is the wife of Regner, the head of the Wu family. Marvin frowned. So, this Nanshan is Regner's brother-in-law. Yes, yes, yes. Lu Zhaochen nodded and said, his brother-in-law. Marvin sneered and nodded, and said to himself, interesting. Really interesting. Charlie did not expect that the Wu family was also involved in this matter to some extent. This hateful beggar gang was actually started by Regner's brother-in-law, and it is estimated that the support of the Wu family is indispensable. Originally, he was still waiting for the Wu family to find him, and was not ready to attack them. But this time, he has to take Regner's brother-in-law first. Therefore, he immediately said to Lu Zhaochen, I will give you a chance to redeem your sins. You must take it well, otherwise, I will let you end up like your brother. As soon as Lu Zhaochen heard this, he said with excitement, Brother, if you have anything you want, you will die without hesitation. Charlie said, you should call the elder beggars who specially connected with you now, tell him that your car has a problem, and let him come here to pick up people in person. Lu Zhaochen nodded immediately and said, Okay, big brother, I'll fight now. It's not far from Suzhou City. I think they will come soon. Charlie gave a hum, turned around and said to Isaac behind him, Old Isaac, I don't care what you do, I will see Regner's brother-in-law here within an hour. Isaac said immediately, Don't worry, Mr. Wade, I will make arrangements. Lu Zhaochen was eager to make contributions, and hurriedly said, By the way, that Nanshan and his wife is one of the elders of the beggar gang, who is in charge of finances. And she is also his female military advisor. Really? Charlie frowned and asked, The couples are doing this kind of conscience business? Yes. Lu Zhaochen said, Their couple is amazing, earning at least 100 million a year. It is said that they earned more than 200 million last year. Charlie said to Isaac, You can verify the matter. If it is true, bring him and his wife to me. Isaac nodded and made a call immediately. Wade family's eyes are all over the country, if they want, there is no clue they can't find. Suzhou is one of the largest cities in the south, and the hidden forces deployed by the Wade family here are beyond imagination. Soon, Isaac received the news and said to Charlie, That kid is right. Nanshan's wife is indeed one of the elders of the beggar gang. Okay. Charlie nodded and said coldly, Then bring them all to me. Isaac immediately picked up the walkie-talkie and said, A group of obedient. Go to Suzhou quickly and meet our family's local eyeliner. By any means, you must bring Nanshan and his wife here within an hour. A resolute voice came from the intercom, Yes. One group set off immediately. Immediately after one of the hovering helicopters, it immediately climbed up and headed for downtown Suzhou. Charlie asked him again, Could you let the Wade family's eyeliner help me investigate how many core members of the beggar gang still in here, and bring them all over to me? Isaac said, Okay, young master, I'll give orders now and get everything I can find. Charlie nodded in satisfaction, and said coldly, Today I will walk for the sky and get rid of this beggar gang. Lu Zhaochen also took out his mobile phone at this time, and under Charlie's supervision, called the elder of the beggar gang who had been connected to him. When the other party heard him say that the car was broken, he immediately said he was not reliable. Lu Zhaochen could only say in a low tone, Elder, the car I built is quite old. I'm really embarrassed, but I'm only a few tens of kilometers away from Suzhou. It's not far, so please come and pick it up. Come on. Then the other party cursed and said, if it wasn't for seeing that you sent more goods this time, I would just ignore you. After speaking, the other party said again, send your location to WeChat, and I will come here. At this moment, the beggar gang leader Nanshan and his wife Kaylee had just walked out of Wu's villa with their daughter. Today at noon, it is the birthday of Nanshan's sister, Regnar's wife Yakina. In the past, Yakina had to organize a special birthday party, but this year, considering the special situation of her son Wu Qi, she chose to stay at home and simply prepared a lunch. No guests were invited to this banquet. Apart from family, she only invited younger brother and younger siblings, as well as her younger niece. After such a long time, Wu Qi is still the same, taking a meal every hour. So in this banquet, Wu Qi disappeared for about 20 minutes. Everyone knew that he was going to add a meal, but everyone at the dinner table was embarrassed to say it. After the birthday party, Nanshan's family of 3 was ready to go home. His sister Yakina sent them to the parking lot of the villa. Seeing that there was no one else around, Nanshan asked his sister, Sister, is Wu Qi's situation still not getting better? No, Yakina said with a sad face, a lot of experts have come to visit during this period, but there is no result. They have no good way. Nanshan couldn't help but sighed and said, Sister, I think my brother-in-law has some problems with his mood and emotions recently. Yakina said depressed, the last time your brother-in-law took Roger to Oris Hill, he suffered a big loss in the hands of the Wade family, and was humiliated by an unknown man from Oris Hill. Haven't you seen Roger's arm still in a cast? He was injured in Oris Hill. Nanshan said angrily, what kid did this way? Sister, do you want me to take some brothers and kill that kid? Now the power of the beggars is stronger again. There are 10,000 registered gang members alone. There are many people. During this period of time, I am preparing to annex the beggars from the surrounding provinces one by one. By that time, my beggars may have more than 50,000 people. Yakina said, your brother-in-law is already planning the matter in Oris Hill, so you don't need to bother. After that, she looked at her younger sibling Kaylee and said to her younger brother, you have to take care of Kaylee during this period. 2 months of pregnancy is the most dangerous time. Don't let the fetus have any problems. Nanshan said immediately, Sister, don't worry, I will take care of her. Yakina said to her younger sibling Kaylee, Kelly, you have just gotten pregnant. Don't interfere with the beggars' affairs for the time being. Have your baby at home and get a B ultrasound in 2 months to see if it is a male or a female. Kaylee nodded hurriedly and said respectfully, Okay sister, I see to it, don't worry. Yakina couldn't help but sighed and said with emotion, Our Shui family, the biggest problem is that the population is not thriving enough. My parents left early and only gave birth to 2 children. Only the son of Nanshan, you and Nanshan are now there is only Tong Tong a daughter. He said that everything has to be given to a son quickly, and it is not enough to have one. While he is young, he must have at least 2 sons to continue the incense for the Shui family. Kaylee hurriedly said, Sister, don't worry, I will definitely inherit the Shui family. Yakina, Regnar's wife, is a standard demon of helping his brother. With her identity and her family background, it would have been impossible for her to enter the gate of Wu's house. But the reason why Regnar married her into the Wu family was entirely because Regnar really loved her. After marrying into the Wu family, Yakina began to do everything possible to help her brother Nanshan. Nanshan didn't have any abilities, he didn't read well, and his ability was not good enough. When he was young, he took a lot of money from Yakina to do business, but he was basically defeated by him. There was no other way. Yakina went to beg her husband, hoping that her husband could give her brother a little bit from the Wu family's business, which would be regarded as a way to help his brother. Although Regnar didn't look down on Nanshan, he still helped him several times because of his wife's face. However, Nanshan is very ignorant of good and bad, and he is not capable of it. When others lead him to make money, he has to make some tricks from it. Finally, Regnar is tired of him, and he simply doesn't bother to take him. However, Yakina didn't want her brother to be mediocre all her life. Seeing that her brother didn't have much real ability, but he still had the ability to fight hard, he guided his brother to the grey industry. After all, Nanshan is Regnar's brother-in-law, and the entire Wu family has a very strong influence in the south, so there is this relationship. He went out to make a profit, and everyone must give face. After fishing for a few years, Nanshan explored the business of the beggar gang. To say it is a gang of beggars is actually borrowing someone's name from martial arts novels. What they do is not a matter of acting for the country and the people. They are just organizing a large group of fake beggars to pretend to be beggars and swindle. Moreover, there are often conflicts between the gang of beggars. For example, the bus stations, railway stations, and commercial streets with the most crowded traffic are the favorite prime locations of the beggar gang. If you can set up a stall here, you will definitely make a lot of money in a day. However, for the beggars in a city, there are tens of thousands of beggars who are true or false, and it is naturally impossible for them to gather in these golden locations. Therefore, fighting fiercely with other gangs of beggars, forming cliques, and looting territory in daily life have become the most important thing besides begging. Because of the big tree of the Wu family, Nanshan developed quickly in the cause of the beggar gang. If any beggar dared to fight against him, he would immediately be trampled. If he couldn't step on it, he would beg his sister and ask his sister to ask his brother-in-law, Regnar, to help. After all, Regnar is also the heir of the top big family. He naturally doesn't look down on this kind of grey business, and of course he doesn't want to interfere. But he couldn't hold back his wife blowing the pillow breeze in his ears every day, and acted like a baby at every turn, or brushed up his temper or pretended to be wronged. Then he had nothing to do. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.